Dr. Holmes said, yesterday's treatment is not good enough for today. Yesterday's awareness is not good enough for today. This is the beautiful thing that we are involved in as religious scientists, knowing that the more we know, there's more to know. This is why someone pointed out to me that all of a sudden they're involved in Dr. Cynthia's class on Emma. How many are in Emma's class? Oh yeah, you love Emma or what? If you don't know, I have Emma Curtis Hopkins' original handwritten manuscript of Resume, which is a genius. Genius. Emma Curtis Hopkins. And she says, it's so great. So I'm really responding to it in a way I didn't respond to Ernest Holmes. And I said, go back and read Ernest Holmes again, and it will be different. You've had a breakthrough. You've had a breakthrough into clarity. You've had a breakthrough into understanding. It's not enough just to know there is one life, it's God. The thing is to think as the one life thinks. Not just think about the one life. To think as love thinks. To think as joy thinks. To think as intelligent mind thinks. Not the world, but what? Higher ideals, higher concepts. We've been affirming here, say it with me, all my dreams are what? Waiting for me to come true. How many are ready to come true to some dreams this year? Okay. Everyone say, all my dreams are good enough to be true. I now come true in relationship to them. See, don't go out here, go in here. Let what you discover then go out here. Come forth from you. He concludes, for without first recharging our nature with the spiritual energy, there will be nothing to conserve. We're starting a class in 2 weeks on meditation. There's a wonderful curriculum for it, and Reverend Dr. Cynthia Celeste and I are going to be presenting this class, and what I'm going to be doing with it is using basically the curriculum for a frame, but I'm going to use my 48 years in this teaching, Lord. And everything I've explored through all my teachers, whatever, I'm going to bring it all together and present a 8-week class on meditation that you will not leave that class the same. I invite you to become part of it. Our challenge over and over again is to do what? Understand, as he says here, accept the shell, nothing to conserve except the shell of knowledge and empty living. Don't be a shell of knowledge and empty living. Don't be somebody who the only where you see religious science is on their bookshelf. Okay. Or their Kindle. Oh, if you don't know, my book's in Kindle now. You can get it there. Right. The only thing I can't do is autograph it. Everyone say, I choose to be the center of my awareness. I choose to be the center of my awareness. And in self-conflict. See, how many ready to end some self-conflict? Okay. How many ready to be responsible for what happens if you end the self-conflict? Because you gotta, the universe, won't stand for a void, so you got to fill it with something. So if I get rid of my self-conflict and all reasons for it, I replace it with what? See, what do you replace it with? Find out. Be what you replace it with. And if you let yourself be what you replace it with, what happens? That becomes what? Cause coming. That becomes your cause coming from first cause, which nothing can stand in the way of that. Therefore, everything is removed in the demonstration of not having, and all of a sudden you have, do, and be what your heart desires in a greater way than you've ever known before. Celebration and action. We have a great thing to give to the world that's never happened before. We have a great thing to give to the world that desires to be the best of itself in action when we let go and let it happen. I heard, any of you hear Brett Waters this morning? God Talk, KGO, I recommend it. Comes on early Sunday morning. You know I get up early on Sunday morning, so there he is. He was on KGO, God Talk. I would recommend it to you. He pointed out this morning the concept of become as a little child. Become as a little child. Which is given to the experience of Jesus. Now, the reason they got upset with him at that time is because Jewish men did not go out and play with children. And so they looked out, and there Jesus was. He was playing with the kids, and they all got upset with it. And he says, unless you become like them, you will not find the kingdom. Because they don't operate from rules and regulations. That's not going to get you in the kingdom. They don't operate from training. Okay? How many know the joy and the celebration of a child until they're trained? Until the adults around them convince them, be like me, not like you. Okay? Be like my limited idea of self, not your unrestricted idea of self. Now, we need direction, we need positive growth, we need celebration within ourselves. But our unfoldment in this thing called life is giving birth to something wonderful and beautiful if we let go and let the wonderful, beautiful happen in us as us. Over and over again, our search is beautiful, our search is wonderful, if we choose to be the wonderful and the beautiful looking for it. Everyone said there's something wonderful ready to happen. In my experience, as my experience, I let go and let it happen. And as I do, the celebration of myself becomes a light unto the world. I would accept for all of you something wonderful and beautiful this year. I would accept for you that you answer the question, what am I here for? That you find an answer to that above and beyond anything you've ever known before. That you find within yourself a spiritual answer that is a celebration of the wonderful. The wonderful that you deserve in your experience called life. Every new year, we let go and let the beautiful unfold. Every new year it is our opportunity to become a little child and discover the kingdom. It is our opportunity, especially in religious science, and this is why we have classes in religious science, because Dr. Holmes said there's a lot of people who do what we teach naturally for those of us who don't know how, and want to, we can learn, and so we educate ourselves spiritually. We educate ourselves by looking at what the great, the good, the wise throughout the age understood, and challenge ourselves to embody what Dr. Holmes gave us the challenge to do, and that is stop thinking about what they knew and start thinking as they knew, so that we can know it as they knew it. Everyone say, I choose to be new in the now. Remember, in education, someone is drawing out the best of you. In education, someone is doing what? They are experiencing the beautiful as we educate, and the beautiful as we educate is the realization that the student learns more about themselves. The student discovers more about themselves. The teacher discovers more about themselves. The whole class, by way of experience, discovers more about themselves. The world moves forward because of this experience, no matter where it is or what religion it is. If somebody discovering something wonderful about themselves and giving from the discovery, it is worth their time. You see, all the talk about being born again. How many have heard that? Born again, born again, born again. It's not just one time. We know as religious scientists, as Dr. Holmes said, our purpose is not just to be born again, it's to be born again and 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 again, because every day is a new opportunity to come to a new realization. Every year at this time, when we let go of the past and move forward into our tomorrow, greater than any experience we've ever known before, we understand that we are wiser than we were a year ago. We now apply the wisdom, and as we do, upward and onward is our way, without anything in the way. Everyone say, it's good enough to be true. It's good enough to be me, and it's good enough to be now. And that's the way it is. Namaste. Thank you for being here.